If you are looking for the perfect national park to visit during the month of November, you have come to the right place. I'm in the parks every month of the year, and I can't wait to share with you my favorite November national parks. My name is Ash. I'm a former park ranger and the founder of Dirt in My Shoes, and I am an expert in national parks trip planning. And so today I am really excited to walk you through some of my favorite national parks to visit during the month of November. The parks that we're going to talk about are not just great in November. You can visit them other times of year, but I do want to highlight some of my favorites that are perfect for this month. But first, head over to dirtinmyshoes.com/month to get your free national parks by month list. This list has all the national parks that I like to visit during every month of the year, so you can check it out regardless of whenever you want to visit the parks. I'll link that list below this video description so that you can go pick yours up so that you can plan your trip for whenever you're hoping to go. But today we're talking about November specifically, and in my National Parks by the Month list, I have 18 parks that are fantastic in the month of November. These are the parks you'll find me in during this time. Today I'm going to highlight a few of my favorites in this video, and then you'll want to refer to the list for additional recommendations. Okay, so November typically is the time when we're gonna want to head south to where it's warmer, where the parks, a lot of these parks down in here are open. This is their main season. Everything's available. You won't hit closures. You won't hit really hot weather. This is when we like to be in these parks. Park number 1 is Big Bend National Park in Texas. Looking at the map, Big Bend is right here at the bottom of West Texas. It's right along the border of Mexico and along the shores of the beautiful Rio Grande. This national park is so unique. It really is in the middle of nothing. You have to drive for hours to get here, but with that comes some really cool opportunities for stargazing. Bird watching is really popular here. You do have hiking trails. You have the river, so you can go canoeing or kayaking if you want to, but you are just in the middle of a wilderness area, and it makes it really fun to be out here. It's a trek, but it's absolutely worth the drive here. Some of my favorite things to do are the Rio Grande Nature Trail. This is a fantastic spot for bird watching. It's also beautiful at sunset. We also love the Window View Trail or some of the other trails, Lost Mine Trail, things like that, up in the Chisos Mountains. So you do get some diversity here because you are on the desert floor for some of your exploration, but then there are mountains that you can go up into and get a different landscape. And then of course there's the beautiful Rio Grande. Santa Elena Canyon is where you want to be to really enjoy the stunning scenery and the great hiking and kayaking that is in this area. Another cool thing you can do is you can actually go through the border crossing. They do have an official one set up here. You can pay a small fee to get ferried across the Rio Grande River, and then you can take a mule up into the town of Boquillas in Mexico, where you can get some great food and some fun souvenirs. Big Bend is a winter national park, and its main season really does start kind of in that October, November timeframe and lasts through the winter and into the spring. This is not a park you want to be in during the summer. It gets really, really hot, but this time of year, specifically November, is a fantastic time to be here. Park number 2 is Saguaro National Park in Arizona. You'll find this national park down here near the city of Tucson at the bottom of Arizona. And again, we're going south for that warm weather in November. I don't know if there's anything better than seeing the beautiful saguaro cactus. It is an icon of the American West, and this park is full of them. So come here, you can do some hiking. We like to hike Signal Hill Petroglyphs, the Valley View Overlook. There's some great hiking trails here. You can also do some beautiful scenic drives. I really like the Cactus Forest Loop Drive in East Saguaro. This one's a little tricky to plan because it actually does have two sections, one on the west side of Tucson and one on the east side of Tucson. So you'll want some help figuring out where to go, kind of how to split up your time. And you can get a lot of information on this and the other parks I'm talking about today on dirtandmyshoes.com. The thing I love about Saguaro in November is you get the warm weather. This area has great food because you are so close to Tucson. You get the outside experience. You get to see the beautiful cacti. And there's more cacti here than just the saguaro. There's a lot of different types. There's a lot of wildlife that you can see as you explore this desert landscape. So we love to be here. Again, this main season, the best time to be here, starts right around November when the temperatures aren't as hot and goes through the winter. While we're in this area, we also love to pop over to Tombstone. If you are looking for a more Western experience, you get to see the beautiful saguaros, but then you can head to Tombstone for a shootout or to see some of the history of the Old West there. Park number 3 is Zion National Park in Utah. I'm a Utah native, and so you will find me in this park during all times of the year, but I really like to avoid that summer season when it gets extremely hot and come more in the shoulder season when there are better temperatures and fewer crowds. Utah has a bunch of national parks, but this is Zion right here down the very southern corner of Utah. And because of its location, it does actually stay warmer than most of the other Utah parks. And so you can visit this park deeper into the fall and you won't hit snow quite yet. Whereas in some of the other Utah parks, you will hit snow around this time of year. So keep that in mind. This one has a longer visiting season because it is a warmer Utah park. You can hit those big famous Zion National Park trails like Angel's Landing and the Narrows during this time of year. In fact, I hiked the Narrows, the whole top-down route. I did the whole thing and went backpacking and stayed in the Narrows overnight. It is amazing. It's such a cool experience. But I have done that in November. It was pretty chilly at night. There was some ice in the river, but we had the right gear and we had a fantastic time. So November is a great time to do this. The water levels are lower. The crowds, we just really didn't hit very many crowds when we did it in November, and that was awesome. So I highly recommend considering Zion National Park in November. Again, when you start getting a little bit later into the fall and early winter, you can hit some snow in this park, which is what makes November kind of a really good sweet spot between when the crowds start to die off and before it gets too cold to do some of the things here. For parks 4 and 5, we are heading to California, Southern California, where there are some great national parks to start visiting at this time of year. So park number 4 is Death Valley, and Death Valley is the hottest, driest, lowest place in North America. Because of that, you probably don't want to be here during the summer when temperatures can exceed 120 degrees. So we like to come here during the late fall. November's about the right time when things start opening up for Death Valley's main visiting season, which goes through the winter and into early spring. Death Valley is right in here. It's just a few hours from Las Vegas, and so you can fly in there and drive over to Death Valley and have a great time in this park during November. Some of the main things you'll want to do here is you'll definitely want to visit Badwater Basin. This is the lowest point in North America. It's negative 282 feet below sea level, so that's pretty cool. If you want to see Badwater Basin from above, you can go to Dante's View and you're on the tops of the mountains looking down at Badwater Basin, which is really cool. You've also got the Mesquite Flat Sand Dunes, which is a family favorite. We love going here and playing around in the sand. And this is also somewhere where they filmed Star Wars, so that's kind of cool too. I think Death Valley is one of the most underrated national parks in America. We love this park. We're in this park almost every winter. I love coming here, and the weather is perfect. You can get out and hike. You can do a lot of things. Again, November marks kind of the beginning of the main season, so it's not too busy yet, but you get that good weather for being out and exploring. And park number 5 is also in California. It is Joshua Tree National Park. This national park is a little further south than Death Valley. You'll see it right down here towards the bottom of California. Death Valley is right here, so you can easily hit both of these in one trip, which is what I like to do. But if you want to just go to Joshua Tree, you're right here in the Palm Springs area of California, which is a really nice area to visit during this time of year as well. Joshua Tree National Park is a vibe. It's really unique. It's different than a lot of national parks. When you get here, you'll see why. But the main thing to do here, and what you'll really want to make sure you do plan time to do, is to go rock climbing. Even if you have no experience, there are companies that will guide you on a rock climbing experience that's really cool. And for me, that's what makes this park so fun. So I highly recommend doing that. On the Dirt in My Shoes website, I have the exact company that I recommend, but it's just a really fun way to experience this park. In addition to rock climbing, you can hike among the Joshua trees. We really like the Hidden Valley area for this. There's a lot of Joshua trees right here. You can also do some other shorter trails like the Cholla Cactus Garden Trail, which is really fun. Those Cholla cacti have really big, sharp, pointy, scary looking needles, and it's fun to hike among them. So lots of cool experiences you can have here in Joshua Tree. But again, starting in November and going into the winter and early spring is the peak season for this park. It gets really, really hot during the summer, so I like to avoid that time and come starting in November. Don't forget to click the link below this video where you can get your free National Parks by Month list. That will give you more ideas for November and beyond. If you need help starting your trip planning process for any of these parks and more, go to dirtinmyshoes.com. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if this video is helpful, because I have more videos like this and more videos about the parks that you'll want to visit. I hope that you have a fantastic experience in the parks during the month of November. Happy trails!